Dan Bongino, now the former deputy director of the FBI, has come out of hiding and is very stimulated, I'll say. He's sweating in this first interview, hyping up his return to podcasting, and his eyes keep going really wide, and he's jacked up, ready to go. But here's the sad part. I'll show you in a little bit some of the comments of presumably even MAGA viewers of this interview who are not having it with Dan because he went in to be the agent of change to take down the deep state. And what is he going to be known for? Being a part of the FBI that came out and told us nothing to see here with Epstein.
He killed himself.
Okay, well, with that part, well, okay. And then being a part of the very organization that engaged in a consistent, to this day, cover-up. And he failed. And he either got fired or he left. And now he's trying to revamp his media career. I don't know if it's going to go particularly well. We'll have to see. Here's the first clip where he's taking issue with members of the MAGA movement that he describes as black pill. So just like doom and gloom, nothing's good, the Trump administration's not doing good, those voices. And what he really is calling out, while there are some people who will say things are terrible all the time no matter what is taking place, what he's calling out is actually a lot of people who just thought that they supported Trump and then saw him govern and they don't like it. And those people I welcome to come over and see the light.
The thing about black pillars, where everything sucks all the time, is they're like, well, we're demanding accountability, but you're not great. So am I. That's not, you're endlessly complaining about things you don't know anything.
Just veins popping. Look at that. Perfect pause. Zoom in, please, Jaden. Let's really just... This is the face of someone who saw some shit and it wasn't good and then left in shame. And is trying to pretend like he's really proud of what happened. Wowza.
About things you don't know anything about. Like, that's all you do. Like, he'll shut down the border, 10 people across the month. Why wasn't it 0? Okay, well, can you just acknowledge going from 1 million to 10 is a big deal? That way, and there's a cost to that. And the cost you see is in, polling numbers around the midterms. You can't let this negative vibe constantly set in. That doesn't mean healthy debates about policy are not welcome. Hey, I'm not a big tariff guy. I've said that 1,000 times. Debating policies are fine. I think a lot of the so-called damage from the tariffs was dramatically over-exaggerated. Even people who don't like them having to acknowledge that now. The economy's motoring, 4% growth. But the black pill complaining and whining all the time about the administration, it's just like, man, what team are you on? Holy Moses, man. So you don't have to watch. It's okay. There's a door.
Holy Moses. That's always a funny phrase. Just say moly. Holy moly. That's so much better. Is it because you're not saying the Lord's name in vain, so you're saying Moses' name in vain? What the hell Moses do to you? All you did is split the sea, then splashed it on a bunch of people and said goodbye, bye-bye.
Go find the freaking exits, because I don't really give a shit. I'm not here for anybody's money or anything like that. I'm too old for that shit.
As you're relaunching your media career, I did want to show for you, because he referenced the economy. Heather Long said, just in, the U.S. economy added only 50,000 jobs in December. And a meager 584,000 jobs in all of 2025. That's the worst year for job gains outside of a recession since 2003. And nearly 85% of the job gains happened by April. Interesting. That's called the Biden wake. That's called the wake that was behind Biden. That's the point. There was little hiring the rest of the year. Unemployment rate 4.4% in December, up from 4% in January. Wages, 3.8% wage growth in 2025, which is above 3% inflation. So there are some of the economic numbers. I don't know if a lot of people perceive that as humming along. Then you have this, which is he really hated when he was in the FBI that he wasn't able to express his views as openly. And when you hear him say that, you think, all right, here we go. Drop the Bongino bomb. Drop it. What did you see? How much redacting was going on? You know, you kind of think that he's going to try to win back over MAGA by saying, yeah, I was in the machine. I had to engage in the cover-up, but I was taking notes the whole time, and now I'm going to reveal those receipts. No, he just wishes he could yell at Democrats for the government shutdown. Please do, as you watch this clip, click the subscribe button. It makes a big difference. Hopefully, we can continue to build a bigger audience than Bongino will return to. Let me click the play button.
Yeah, we'll get through it and we'll talk about that stuff. But there's stuff I missed too, like the government shutdown. I could not believe. Do you know how bad I wanted to be on the air and say how? How the fuck is the government shut down over Obamacare? And the Democrats are pretending this is their argument.
Yeah.
You dipshits passed this. It's called Obamacare. It's not called Trump care, Reagan care. The effing thing is called Obamacare.
The Affordable Care Act. But the point he's trying to make, let him keep making the point and then I'll correct it.
They fucking called it Obamacare. They shut down the government,
Just keep
and
going.
they're like, hey, man, this thing is really expensive. He ran saying, what? Are you? He ran.
We're pumped for
He's
Obamacare.
back.
He's back.
He's back.
Saying that this was going to make healthcare cheaper and accessible. It's called Obamacare. Then the Democrats come back and go, this program sucks so bad. We need more government money to bail out the failed program. It's supposed to be cheap. And like, how did the media, how did we miss that?
So, okay, first of all, the point he's trying to make is that the extension of the ACA subsidies lapsing or it expiring is what Democrats were trying to prevent because that would have allowed for a skyrocketing in healthcare premiums, which is why the government shut down, was them trying to get that concession. But he's saying that's ridiculous because it was Democrats who created the ACA. Don't know how that connects to trying to keep a particular subsidy in place to prevent the increase of premiums. And I'll remind you, the increase of premiums, the pace at which it was increasing did slow after the implementation of the ACA, and a lot more people ended up getting covered. So a step in the right direction, even if still a lot of problems, but way better than whatever the heck Republicans would want, which would just be Trump's, I don't know, we're going to let people figure it out and maybe give them money, but I have no mechanical way that I can articulate as to how we do that. That isn't just Medicare for all, which he's opposed to. Then we have this, but wait, before I play that, the other crazy thing is just his mannerisms are so disorienting and frightening that this guy had a position of power in law enforcement. And he's going to say in one of the next clips, might be this one, how it really boggled the mind, the types of threats that Americans are facing and that are happening across the world. And I was just feeling terrified. My heart started pumping a little bit more, remembering that we are supposed to be kept safe by a lot of different people and a lot of different career prosecutors and law enforcement personnel that are awesome. And the people at the top right now are unhinged and unqualified. And that makes me feel really scared for just American safety in general. There you go.
Okay, well, that's easy. Well, the problem is who's in what group.
Right.
They don't come out and tell you. No one comes out and advertises. It's like, hey, I was part of this. So Cash and I.
How do you find?
That was.
How do you root out the corrupt guys?
Well, it was not easy. We had this. Cash and I did investigate, investigate say a problem, find the perpetrators involved, and take action.
Can you imagine him standing up in front of a bunch of like real smart FBI agents? And he's like, okay, so this is just crazy. Yeah. All right. So, okay. We're going to we're going to, man, it's called Obamacare, for the love of Moses. So we're going to investigate and find the criminals. Ready, go. Ready, break. And then the annoying part is these pretty poor leaders, in my estimation, do that. That's how I picture. He's on the whiteboard. He's like, all right, step one, find them. Then text me when you do. And then they go out and they put their field jacket on and they go to the press conference and they're like, this is why we're amazing, because our agents.
What comes out and advertise? It's like, hey, I was part of this. So Cash and I.
How do you find?
How
do you root out the corrupt guys?
Well, it was not easy. We had this. Cash and I did investigate, say a problem, find the perpetrators involved, and take action. And it sounds like a simple battle plan, but it's not as easy as we thought. And it took a little bit to get that moving. So that on the work front side, you got to remember, I got out of federal law enforcement in 2011. So when you're sitting there at the PDB every morning, the president's daily brief, it doesn't happen in the way that everyone gets their own, the principals and deputies get their own version of it. But you're getting the same material, and you see the national security picture, and you're comparing it to what you were used to back when you were in the federal government at a lower level, but you still got the generalities. Right. It was really shocking.
Wow.
The world is a really dangerous place. I mean, hello, Captain Obvious. But when it kicks you right in the balls and you're reading it every day, it's different because you're in.
Picture he's reading his presidential daily brief and he's like, oh my gosh. Looks over to people who aren't phased at all. He's like, this will really kick you in the balls, huh? We're supposed to stop this stuff? My gosh. Wait, when do I get more Twitter followers? I'm confused. Man, that really takes a sledgehammer to your little buddies down there. Okay, let me just tell you.
If men were angels. Am I comfortable that Cash and I did everything we could in the past year to create institutional safeguards against things happening again anytime soon? Yes. The problem is you can get new leadership in there.
That's such a long question. Am I confident that me and Cash did everything that we could do between the two of us? Whenever we would go into the office every day, I'd get there around 7. He'd get there around 6:30. I work at my apartment. Jim on my own. He works out at the. We share a wall. I can hear. He turns on the faucet. I can hear. And the confidence that we worked every day and did everything that we could, despite the deep and profound emotional turmoil that this caused me, and none of my friends even like me anymore. And my wife, well, she's not my wife, she's my ex-wife. Well, not ex-wife, we're separated, but it's tough, because we used to have such a good relationship. She would always say that she needed more Bongino booty, and that her Bongino booty, that was everything. And then now she never even texted my Bongino booty, and we did what we could do. Yeah, we did.
That can obviously change it. But I think over the course of the next 3 years, and of course it's always tough to walk away, but I was never going to be the long-term solution there. I was in there, to be the hammer, to come in there and to get stuff done and to move fast.
What did you get done? We're still yet to hear that. What is it that you got done? Ready, go.
Solution there. I was in there, to be the hammer, to come in there and to get stuff done and to move fast. Make some things that are good better, make things that are really bad good, and that's what we did. I mean, we moved quick.
Okay, so I got that you moved quick and you made good. That's so fake. We made good things better, and we made bad things better than bad. We made bad things better than bad. Trump has coconuts for testicles. That was just replaying in my head something Bongino once said. Now, a lot of the commenters were not having it. You have this person say, Dan, nothing to see here, Bongina. That's such a subtle slight. Bongina. Bongina is actually probably what they mean. Sorry. You're a disgrace. You should be ashamed, you puppet. Maggots! We the people are done with all your BS, Bongino. Bullshit Bongino. That's a good nickname. Take your effing criminal friends and get ready to go to hell for what you have all done. Someone else says, before working for the FBI, pretended not to know which country Epstein was blackmailing people for. Then you have What is wrong with all these commentators gushing about Dan? He's all talk, no action. I'm honestly confused. Do you guys like when our side is in power and does nothing? Somebody explain this to me. Someone else said, I came here only to unsubscribe. What a clown. Hey, I agree he's a clown. I agree you should unsubscribe. I agree that he failed. That comment brings back bad memories and I don't like it. When people weaponize their subscription like that, okay, it's free, by the way. So it's not more or less money, just a free YouTube subscription. And they say it like they're, click the subscribe button. They say it like they're taking away your firstborn. Hey, back off. Now, not to them, unsubscribe to them, I agree. But that just reminded me of people doing that. They're like, you know what? I've followed you for a long time, but you actually accidentally said Bongino instead of Bongino. And for that, I'm unsubscribing. I'm like, what? All of the work that all these years you've been watching, and that's what did it for you? And I hereby unsubscribe. Okay, fine. Okay, sorry. Dan, you're not going to get your entire army back. You betrayed us and lied to us and caved. Maybe you think you're going to outdo Candace Owens or something, but you are MAGA slop. You're a huge disappointment. You're a disgrace. And then last comment, hey, Deputy Dan, I watched you for 9 years daily, never missed a show. You have become an utter disgrace and your true colors were revealed. If you can't be trusted, then we are screwed. Business as usual. Also, you are a quitter. True! 9 months, and what could you possibly get done? Not much. I hope you get thick-skinned. You're going to need it. I love whenever they said, this is brilliant. 9 months, and what could you possibly get done? Not much. Like, not even putting a question mark. What could you possibly get done? Not much. Already answering the question before the question was asked. Brilliant. So that's where Dan Bongino is. We'll see how it all turns out with him.